with Brett Kavanaugh. So I could say that I hadn't spoken with him because he can totally handle this himself. Then ask, do you support Kavanaugh? He says, I'm totally supportive. Your thoughts?
No, the president is very supportive of his nominee. I still think he's going to become Justice Kavanaugh. And I really, the question is going to be whether or not this person shows up at the hearing. Are there additional witnesses that will be brought in under the Senate rules? Who's going to do the questioning? Because there is the ability for senators to appoint somebody to actually do the questioning for them, which might be a smarter way to do it for the Senate. But a lot's going to play out between now and Monday, that's for sure.
Yeah. Marie?
Yeah, it feels like I have no idea what's going to happen with this story in the next 5 days, 6 days, but it seems like Republicans are nervous enough about people like Jeff Flake and Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski that they feel like the process is an important one to hear from her and to hear from him, that's important to do. If she shows up, they'll hear both sides, and then, as you said, if nothing else comes out, they will have to make a decision based on everything they've heard about Judge Kavanaugh throughout this entire process. So I'm glad they have scheduled a hearing. I will be curious if there are other witnesses. Harris, you mentioned the letter from women supporting Kavanaugh. There's also this letter from women supporting the accuser.
Oh, of course.
So there's a lot of letters now out there. Well, so the Senate actually, I think, is doing something right here.
That's not a shocker because Ms. Ford went through her local congresswoman who then went to Dianne Feinstein. So this has had some time to kind of form along the way. And so we have reports of Democrats now, women in Congress and on the Hill in general, who want to show up to this hearing. I'm reading about that. Moments ago, Senator Orrin Hatch said a meeting in McConnell's office is about what happens if Ford does not show at Monday hearing. And so, you know, we're waiting to see what that meeting will be like today as well. You had some definite thoughts about that.
Well, again, Orrin Hatch has been through this, you know, many times. He is one of the most seasoned person in bringing nominees through this process in very difficult times, and Senator Hatch has that perspective. Nevertheless, it's a fascinating question. Does she or does she not testify? Does she want to go out? Does she not want to go out? The fact that she won't even talk to the Judiciary Committee is a really head scratcher.
Is it a head scratcher?
It's not a head scratcher. It's not a head scratcher.
Melissa has some thoughts on that.
Because it looks like it would be horrible. I mean, I wouldn't volunteer for that if you're a regular person. You know, if she has a story to tell and she's brave enough to do it, let's all listen to it. If she doesn't show up, it doesn't mean she was lying. It could mean that, but it could also mean that she just doesn't want to go through this horrible spectacle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think any of us can judge one way or the other without hearing it from each of them. And if politicians hear it behind closed doors and then they vote, we're going to all think they were political about it because they've been known to do that.
But the concern also is when you start from a point where Democrats were against the nominee before he was even named, how do you have any sort of fair hearing? And how is Judge Kavanaugh going to be met with any sort of honest lens?
Wow, and around we go with some breaking news in the middle of it. Stay tuned.